I'm one of the million species who live on this planet called Earth. There is nothing unique about us except we have a special gift, a special superpower. And that special superpower is the power of imagination. There is nothing unique about our planet either. Our planet is not at the center of the solar system. We orbit the sun. As a matter of fact, there is nothing unique about our sun. Our sun is not at the center of the galaxy, but we're part of the Milky Way galaxy and one of 100 billion stars that reside in this Milky Way galaxy. Even our galaxy is not unique. Our galaxy is part of this vast universe of 200 billion galaxies. My name is Anousheh Ansari. I was born on this planet a long, long time ago in a country far, far away called Iran. I was born to an ordinary family, a middle-class family in Iran, and was raised in Iran and lived an ordinary life. My life changed when I was about 12 years old, when the revolution happened in Iran. And during that revolution, I learned about anger, about gunshots, about tear gas, and about unhappy people trying to make a change. Before I could understand that change, a war broke out between Iran and Iraq, and I learned about war, destruction, and death. And all of that reshaped my life. However, I had a secret. My secret was I had a unique place I can go and hide. Since I was very young, I had developed a love for space, for the stars. And I used my unique gift, that gift of imagination, to imagine these different worlds up there amongst the stars, a place that was safe, that was peaceful, a place I wanted to go to. I even drew my spaceship. I went around, showed it to everyone, and I said, this is how I'm going to go to space. But as you can imagine, a young girl in Iran, no space agency, people looked at that drawing and said, let's not break her heart, but yes, of course you're going to go to space, not believing a word I said. Well, in 2006, I made it happen, and I had to make sure that the rocket I flew on had to match my drawing, so I flew with the Russian space agency on board a Soyuz rocket. And this is why I truly believe that this gift of imagination is so important in our human history, and it has shaped everything we've done since. I imagine growing up watching Star Trek, reading The Little Prince, reading Jules Verne and other sci-fi authors, that I would come to United States and I would go to be part of the Federation. I would go to Starfleet Academy and I would become an officer flying and exploring the universe on board Starship Enterprise. And of course, when I came here, I learned that there is no Starfleet Academy and there is no Starship Enterprise, that only a handful of government agencies throughout 50 years had been able to build spaceships to go to space. So I pursued a completely different career as a tech entrepreneur, building successful companies, but my passion truly was still in space. So when I got an opportunity and sold my company, I decided I'm going to pursue that passion. And that's when I turned my life around in a different direction. I started thinking about how I can be the change, make a difference in the way we access space. And it happened to, at the same time, Peter Diamandis had also dreamed of doing something to change the landscape of access to space, and had imagined a competition that would mimic the flight of Charles Lindbergh to win the Orteig Prize. That flight changed the aviation industry, and he was hoping that by doing a competition, we can change the landscape for commercial space. He just was not able to find the right person to sponsor the prize. And I happened to be available with some funds at the same time, and he was able to find me, and that was a match made in heaven, because I could now sponsor a prize that would then go on to shape the rest of my life. We launched the competition, and the competition was very successful in not only really igniting a new set of innovation and passionate people working in the space industry, but also changing the belief system around how entrepreneurship can change access to space. And we were able to really bring regulatory reform that shaped the new commercial space industry that we can see. 26 teams from 11 countries competed in the competition. $100 million was spent to win a $10 million prize. And as a result, an industry that is trillions of dollars has been created. The winning solution from that competition was licensed by Richard Branson, became Virgin Galactic, and many companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin have been born and are really reshaping the way we access space. When we launched the competition, to take a kilogram to space, to orbit, would cost about $25,000. About now, the cost is around $2,500. With Starship and other new capabilities that are coming online, and as they become more prominent in accessing space, the cost could come down very quickly to $250 per kilogram. That type of reduction in cost of access to space can really reshape the space economy. And that's what is exciting to me, and I'm sure many of you here in the audience. It has reshaped the way we can learn about our own home planet. Not only access to space, but the fact that other technologies are advancing and miniaturizing, and their capabilities and sensitivities are increasing, has given us a whole new set of opportunities to learn about how our planet is changing and how we can really look at life on our planet differently. There are plans to launch about 57,000 satellites over the next 5 years. That's a lot of satellites. That's a lot of data. That's a lot of information. That's access to communication to every part of our planet. And that is very important because, again, it can reshape how we not only learn about ourselves, but how we can predict changes in our environment and be prepared for it. Not only that, we're now going back to the moon. We're not just going for a visit, we're going back to the moon and establish a permanent place where we can study and research and find new ways that we can really access resources around us in the universe that surrounds us. Advancement in AI has given us new tools to go back and analyze all the data that we've collected over so many years, where we didn't have the compute power to really be able to drive insight. And this new insight will reshape our understanding of the universe that surrounds us. We now can harness power of the sun and be able to use it to bring access to low-cost, sustainable energy to the remote part of our planet, and also look at other capabilities that will help us in this greening effort that we're doing without polluting and disrupting our own planet, gain access to precious metals and other resources we need to really live a sustainable and an equitable, abundant life on this planet. As we are explorers and we want to go further out in the universe, we're going to be building new propulsion systems, something that will get us to further corners of our own solar system and outside of it much faster. As we live and go outside of our own comfort area, we can't take everything with us. So we have to create sustainable, circular ways that we can sustain life outside of our planet. So access to technologies with 3D printing, for example, for tools and materials we need, or even when it comes to health and medical resources that we would need as we leave our planet. These are all the research that's being done right now and tests that are being done, that by the time we're ready with our propulsion system to leave, it will all come together. We can also build habitats where we go and use materials from the place that we land on. But what's next? As we go further and further, we know that the environment in space is not conducive to the bodies that have been built to live on this planet. So we can explore and think about how these things will change the way we look at ourselves as it relates to the world. How do we communicate better? Are we going to use technologies that we've developed to connect our brains together with the machine? Are we going to implant machines in our own brain and become Borgs? There are all sorts of possibilities and all sorts of questions we need to answer. The most important thing is as we come to answers, to make sure that these answers are driven by a hopeful future, but not by fear. Because fear is resulting in activities that are less conducive to a beautiful life for humanity in this universe. It's a future of wars that are using space assets, and the type of future that I experienced when I was 12 years old. I was very fortunate as part of my support of XPRIZE to be able to experience space. And this is an experience that is life-changing. I ended up going to Russia and be able to train for about 9 months and be ready for a mission to International Space Station. This training really taught me a lot about myself and how I can do a lot more than I can ever imagine. And this is something that we all are capable of. It really allowed me to really reach beyond my capabilities and things that I believe are possible. And it gave me an opportunity to see our beautiful home planet from up there. One thing that stood out to me when I first looked out the window was that all those maps that I saw in geography courses were all a lie. When I looked at our planet, this is what I saw. There was no lines and borders or colors and things that would separate countries from each other. What you saw was one planet, one home for all of us, and a place that we would all be able to live and work and really develop life together. And that is something that I took with me and something that I want to part with to every place that I go and everyone that I talk to. As we go and explore beyond our planet and beyond solar system one day, we go further and further. But I love this quote by T.S. Eliot, which really, I think, embodies what we call the overview effect. The more we go and explore, the more we learn about ourselves and we learn where we come from. This whole innate nature of wanting to explore comes from the fact that we want to know, where do we come from? What is our role and our place in this universe? And as we do this and we go out there, we come back and learn and find more about our own home planet Earth. And as we do that, I hope we will learn how to use that experience and that knowledge to really live a fulfilling life that will give to the future generations. Thank you, and I hope that we all can explore our dreams and make them come true.